Hi y'all, it's your star goddess. I'm back. Okay, so today I wanted to tell you guys a story. It's story time. Okay. So this story is kind of based on binding someone and forgetting to unbind them after you call it quits. Okay, so I had a boyfriend. This was like my first boyfriend, my first love, you know, my first everything. Okay, and I was totally into this guy, because first of all, he looked like Prince. And back then I was like this fanatic, like crazy. And we met at a club. I saw him from across the room, he saw me from across the room, and we just kept looking back at each other. And he never came up to me. I was like, I don't know, he never came up to me. So I was like, well, maybe he don't like me, you know, maybe, because he was like very attractive. I was too, but he didn't come up to me. So I'll figure out why he didn't do it later. But anyway, so I go out of the club when I'm leaving, and I see him in the parking lot, and he like comes up to me. He rushes up to me. He's like, hey, what's your name? Blah, 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 blah. And then we talk, and then he gives me his phone number on a dollar bill, like, because he didn't have no paper, so he gave me his phone number on a dollar bill. I was like, okay, thank you. I was like, oh my god. So I was young. I wasn't even supposed to be in that club, y'all. I was young. So I go home, I'm all excited. I'm like, oh, this guy's so cute, he looked like Prince. And so I call him the next day, and we talk and stuff like that. Anyway, make a long story short, we had a crazy relationship, and it lasted like it lasted for a long time. It really became a friendship, but it lasted a long time, like a couple years. That's a long time for a young person. So then, you know, when I grew up, when I was, you know, getting ready to go to college and stuff like that, I was like, you know, moving forward, leaving him behind, because he wasn't really, you know, going anywhere in his life. But he was just a cute face, right? And, you know, even though I did love him, I was not like, I loved myself more, and I wasn't trying to stay on his level. So I kind of moved on, and I binded him, you know, when we were, you know, together. I had this box. I had his, you know, picture in it, roses, petition, like all this. I had all this stuff, and I had a box with like his hair in it and all this stuff. I was like, you are mine. No matter what, he would always come back to me. He would always, you know, call me, be with me, call my house when I'm not there. You know, I'm in other relationships. He would always call, looking for me. He would go up to the places I used to hang out, looking for me, like just like a lost puppy, right? And it's not like he wasn't with other people. Like, he had moved on in relationships too, but he was always looking for me, you know. And then one time he, like, I guess he got my phone number from somehow, some way, and he called me, and I'm like dang near engaged. I'm like, hello? He's like, is this, you know, is this, I'm like, yeah. Is this, we'll just call him Prince lookalike. Is this Prince lookalike? He's like, yeah, it's me. Where have you been? How you been doing? I was like, I'm about to get married. He's like, really? I've been thinking about you so much. Every day I think of you, and I'm blah 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 blah. So then I realized I didn't unbind this fool, and it's like years later. Okay, I'm like, oh my god, he still bind it to me. So I go find this box. I still have the box today, but I took all the stuff out. I go to the box, and I'm like, oh my god, his stuff is still in here, his pictures are still in here, his hair. So I take it all out, and I dismantle the whole thing, and I was like, you are free, released, you know. I do the unbinding, and, you know, I never heard from him again. And I'm like, you know what, I didn't realize that type of binding was so powerful. And, you know, if you forget to unbind someone and you're moving on, you got to let them move on by unbinding them. So, you know, I would go to like places I used to hang out, and like the bartender would be like, hey, you know that guy you used to date, he comes in here all the time asking about you and blah 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 blah. I'm like, really? And I don't, you know what, it wasn't because he was obsessed with me or anything. It wasn't because he was obsessed with me. It was because he was binded, because he was, you know, not that type of person. You know what I mean? He wasn't the type of person to be obsessed over someone. So I know that's why he, you know, that's why it was like that. So so I'm like, oh, I felt so bad. I was like, I gotta unbind this person, because I might have ruined relationships that he's been in because he's still binded to me. So I had to unbind, and I've never heard from him since. I think he's moved on and happy now, whatever, in his life. And like his little brothers, they're my friends on one of my other Facebook pages, and they're like, hey, you know, what's up, da 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 da. And they never talk about him either. They never tell me what's going on in his life, but I don't ask. But you know, I guess things are good. So y'all don't forget to unbind those people you break up with, and leave and undo those like freezer spells or something like that, because you know, you don't want, you know, someone like wandering and thinking about you all the time because you forgot to unbind them and you've moved on. It's not really fair, unless you just want to torture the poor soul. And that's, you know, that's the only person I ever binded besides my husband, because that was my first love, you know. But that's, I've never binded anyone else but my husband, the first love, and my kids, of course. Those are kids are for safety reasons. But yeah, I don't just go around binding everybody. Now you gotta be special. You gotta be special to get binded by me, okay? Y'all, I'm just playing, I'm having fun, but like the story is true. I'm just saying I don't do lots of bindings. People think I'm always doing this type of binding, and because I make so many videos about it, how important it is, and blah 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 blah. I only binded 2 men in my whole life, okay? And that's it. Other men I didn't need to bind. I try to bind things that are valuable to me and that can you know, at the time. So I don't just go around binding everybody. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna bind you. There is someone I could bind, but you know, I would rather wait and see the results of what I'm, you know, trying to accomplish without binding, you know, because sometimes you gotta challenge yourself in life, and using magic all the time, you know, it's easy, it's fun, and why not use it if you got it? But sometimes you want to challenge your, you know, your physical self or your mental self. You know, you want to be like, okay, I'm gonna see if I can do this without doing magic, and if I can't, I'm gonna do magic, okay? So if all else fails, turn to magic. Another thing with bindings, people always ask me, well, can you bind yourself to physical things? Yes, you can bind yourself to money, jobs, security. You can bind yourself to like always having money making ideas. You can bind yourself to love. Even if you don't have anyone in particular to love, it's just you'll always have love. You can get as detailed or as broad as you like, but remember, when you word your bindings, that you need to be specific, okay? Don't go too, you know, don't go too crazy when you're writing these bindings. Keep it simple and to the point. So if you've ever binded someone or bound someone, I know some grammar person will correct me if I don't say it correctly. So if you ever bound someone and forgot to unbind them, and you know, you called it quits, do you have a story that's kind of similar? Were they still looking for you? Were they basically stalking you? I've had one of my ex-boyfriends actually stalked me, and I don't do a binding I think I did do a binding spell on him. Wait, let me think about this one. I don't know. I don't know if I did one on him or not, but I might have. I don't remember. But yeah, he was stalking me too. But this is when I was young, y'all. This is when I was like 21, 22, 20, 19. My young years. And yeah, that's another story though. And the funny thing is, I met that boyfriend through Prince as well. Like, it had something to do with Prince. Like, I was out and they had like the little music jukebox machine or whatever at the place where you play pool, and I played Michael Jackson, of course, because y'all know I love MJ. And then some guy played Prince, and I'm like, oh my god, I love Prince. Who in here played Prince? And I go up to the jukebox, and there's this guy there playing Prince, and he had this deep voice, and he was like, oh, so you're the one that played Michael? I'm like, yeah. And like, that voice just got me. I was like, he's like, yeah, I played Prince. And I'm like, he was real tall and slim, and he looked like, who did he look like? A lot of people say he looked like El DeBarge from the 80s. He was like one pretty boy, whatever. Curly hair, light skin, deep voice, tall. And I was like, yeah, but he stalked me too after I left him. Anyway, those pretty boys, don't date them. Warning, fair warning. First of all, they'll stalk you after you leave them, because like, they don't believe you left them. Like, did you really leave me? Oh, look at me, you know. But see, yeah, that's why I never messed with pretty boys after that one. That was over. That was it. So yeah, that's probably more from my other channel, that story. But yes, undo your bindings on exes. Okay, free them, because if you were bound and by your girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, and y'all split, wouldn't you want them to undo that binding so that you can move on too? Okay, so that's the moral of the story. Undo your bindings after you move on. I know someone wrote me and asked me, can they get their lover back even though the lover has told them they don't want them anymore and has moved on, moved out? Can you get this type of lover back? Well, honestly, if a man tells you that he doesn't want you anymore, I wouldn't want him back. Basically, I wouldn't want him back, because that's the type of relationship you're going to have. You're going to have the relationship where the guy's going to tell you when he gets mad, look, I didn't even want you back. I took you back because I felt sorry for you and kept begging and hanging around. You know, they don't want you. A man will always pursue what they want. So ladies, it's best not to chase a man. Always go for something new and better. Okay? The best revenge on anyone is to upgrade on your man, upgrade on your woman, upgrade on whatever. You know, get somebody better. You broke up for a reason. Move on. Okay? I get a lot of requests for breakup spells. Can you break these people up? I get a lot of requests for all those type of spells, and I'm like, look, if they left you, they don't want you, first of all. Second of all, I will try to help you, but you have to realize, when people make up their mind about something, if they want that relationship more than they want you, and you're trying to do spells on them, it's not going to work, because their intent and their determination is stronger than yours. So I told them good luck, but you know, when you're rejected, you need to move on and do better. You know, look at all the people who have, you know, gotten cheated on, dumped, or broken up, and then they move on to do way better, and that's like the best revenge ever. Okay, so you don't really need to do all that extra stuff. Just upgrade. That's revenge enough. All right, I'll see y'all later.